Today we're taking a look at some hidden gems over in the Baldur's Gate 3 mod workshop. Let's get to it. So I've been super eager to do mod spotlights for Baldur's Gate 3 since the official release of mod support, but I had to give the mod devs time to cook a little bit so that we could actually get a decent amount of mods in the workshop. I was slightly disappointed when I started browsing it a little bit to see that there wasn't quite as many mods as I thought. With the player base that this game has, I thought there would be way more mods than what there are, but luckily enough, there is just enough of them to start doing some mod spotlights, and we're starting with some hidden gems. Now for this, I sorted by the least liked, least subscribed to mods, and just kind of started going through the list looking for ones that were standouts that just kind of slipped under the rug for people, and I found a nice selection that I think you all are really gonna like. We got everything from complete game changers to nice little quality of life stuff to just fun things. And we're gonna start with a very simple one, and that is coatings last until long rest. This is something that should, in my opinion, be kind of default. I hate that coatings last so short, especially if you're playing something like honor mode where fights can take much longer and you put poison on and you get like 3 or 4 hits and then the poison just wears off and it's like, what? That was the weakest poison I've ever seen in my life. If I'm gonna poison my blade, I want it to stick around for a little bit. And luckily enough, this doesn't just work on poisons, it works on pretty much anything you dip your weapon in. And it's short, sweet, and simple, does exactly what it says on the tin, and it just makes all your coatings last until you take a long rest. So if that's something that you think you'd like in your game, check it out down in the description. I'll be linking to all of these down in the description. The next one is one that is a complete and total game changer, so much so that you can actually brick your game, so be careful with it. And that is the Flask mod. And yes, I did beep out part of that because it uses something that it belongs to Nintendo, and you know how Nintendo goes, so I'm not taking any chances. And the mod does pretty much what you would expect it to do from the name. It allows you to catch anything, and I do mean anything, inside of a flask and then re-release it out into the wild and either control it or have the game control it for you. You get a lot of different options with this to set up, which we'll talk about here in a second. But when I say this is a very OP mod, very broken mod, and that you can brick your game, it does allow you to catch literally anything. So you can catch people that would stop you from completing the story. So be very careful with it. And it's one of those ones that just gives you a ton of power and lets you set your own rules for it, which I love that. I think that's great. So you can find 40 of these flasks and the options for them inside of the tutorial chest. The tutorial chest is found right at the beginning of the game. You can get this into a later save if you've missed the tutorial chest. There are a ton of mods out there that allow you to just respawn the tutorial chest. So if you want to load it into an existing save, I would advise also going and grabbing one of those mods that allows you to spawn the tutorial chest. So let's quickly go over the settings and how you can customize this mod because it is very customizable inside the game. As stated, you get a bag that has different options inside of it. They just look like the flasks themselves, which can be a bit confusing, but if you highlight over them and look at the name, it will tell you, for example, full control, remember health when captured, capture chance always 100%, capture chance like throw attack, and capture chance is health based. If you right click on any of these, it will say open settings and then your character's name, and you can click to open settings. For example, this is the pop-up and warning message you see when you activate the full control one. It states released creatures can make their own decisions in combat. Do you instead want to fully control them? So if you don't activate this, the AI will just take over and do its own thing. If you want to control them as summons, then this is an option that you would want to select, and you would want to select yes. If we do remember health when captured, you will see it states should released creatures have the same health as when they are captured. Default is no, which fully heals them instead. This setting is ignored in hard mode. Capture chance 100% is pretty self-explanatory. When you activate it, it'll give you the option yes or no, whether you want the capture chance to be 100%. Capture chance like throw can be a little confusing at first, but when you activate it, it clearly explains what it does. It changes the capture chance to be the same as the chance to hit when throwing an object. It's 100% for dead creatures, and once again, it's ignored in hard mode. And last but not least, you have the option for capture chance health based. When you activate this one, it tells you change the capture chance to be based on health remaining. Examples are 80% of their health left is a 20% capture chance, 50% health, 50%, and 10% is a 90% chance to capture. Once again, ignored in hard mode. All of them are pretty much ignored in hard mode. Once you have all your settings done and you use a flask to capture something and you release that something, you will get the flask back, and that thing just hangs out now as like a summons. And it's recommended you do this when you're changing from one map to another. Apparently stuff gets a little wonky. They have a warning about it. I highly advise reading all of the mods page because it has a lot of different warnings on it. Very important to read the whole thing. But putting your summons out before transferring to a new area is one of the things they suggest doing. And as I stated, you do get that flask back and you can use it to capture something else. So while you only have 40 flasks to capture things, you can ideally capture as many things as you want. I think this is a really interesting and just fun mod, and you should really check it out if you're looking for something just to make your game a little more lighthearted and fun, just to see what kind of shenanigans you can get away with. This next mod is another really simple one, but I think is a really cool, nice little quality of life mod that you could put in your game without any real effect to your overall gameplay. It's just a nice little addition like the first one we covered, and that is the Unspoiling Brew. Inside the tutorial chest, or if you missed it, you can pick it up at any vendor, is a cauldron, and you just take the cauldron and you combine it with any spoiled food, like literally any spoiled food in the game or poisoned food, and it will turn it to the unpoisoned or unspoiled version of that food. There's a ton of spoiled stuff in the game, so this is just really nice to turn it into something you can actually use it for camp supplies and stuff, instead of just having something that you would vendor to a vendor for a couple of gold pieces. And that's pretty much it. I just think it's a cool little mod, and I would totally add this to my next playthrough. Okay, the next one is game breaking in the sense that it takes away any and all illusions from the game, and that is the over-explained interactions options verbose. And there's a bunch of different versions of this. This is the one that gives you the most possible information. And what it does is it tells you what all of your dialogue options are going to do. Basically what flags they tick inside the game. So if you want to romance a specific character and you're not sure how to do it or what decisions you need to make in order to do so, this tells you that every time you are talking to them. It literally tells you anything and everything you could want to know about pretty much every conversation option that you're gonna have, any of them that have any real meaning. There's a lot of options in the game that are just for funsies that don't actually lead to anything, but if they do, this mod will tell you. It'll also tell you if the option doesn't really lead to anything by just 2 back arrows. If you see 2 back arrows and you select that option, that means there's gonna be some dialogue that won't amount to anything. It will tell you your DC checks and what skill you need before you even click the button. It will tell you your romance status flags. It will tell you every single companion's opinion about an option you're going to make. So if you're really trying to impress one of your companions and you always want to select an option that is going to impress them, this will allow you to do that. It will also tell you if this is going to break your oath if you're a paladin. It will tell you if an option is a Dark Urge only option. It demystifies all of your conversations. So this is one that I would advise not getting if you've never played through the game. Honestly, I don't think you should play with any mods if you've never played through the game. Sure, first time you should play through it to get that solid experience, and maybe not even if it's your second time. But if it's your third, fourth, something like that, and you want to ensure that you're gonna get certain options, like I said, maybe you've never been able to romance a character and you really want to romance a character, this will help you do that. This will help you get specific endings, all of that stuff. Really cool mod, and I don't think it has nearly enough subscribers to it. I honestly was surprised how few there were. I mean, it's no small amount, but compared to the actual player base for this game, it is a pretty small amount. Like with all the other ones, this one will be linked down below as well. Now, this next mod is one that I highly advise getting no matter what the situation is, no matter what rules you're setting for yourself or any of that. That is the custom waypoints. This allows you to set up to 10 locations in any region that are custom warp points. So you ever been down in that dungeon and you're like, wow, the warp location is so far away? Well, not anymore, because you can just make one, go back to camp, do your business, whatever you needed to do at camp, or warp somewhere else and do whatever and warp right back to where you were with no issues. This is an absolutely fantastic mod. It's so cool. So how it works is in the tutorial chest, once again, everything that has to do with the tutorial chest, and you can add this into any existing game. All you need to do, once again, get one of the mods that allows you to spawn the tutorial chest, and there will be a crystal. Whoever has this crystal will get access to 2 spells: create a waypoint or delete a waypoint. And that's it. Wherever you're standing, you just activate the spell. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a free spell to cast, and it just creates a waypoint there. And then it works just like all of the other in-game waypoints. You can open up the map and just directly click on it. It will also show up in your list over to the right, and you can just click on it over there as well. And when you're done with that waypoint and you don't need it anymore, you can just use the other spell to remove a waypoint. You just activate the spell, click on the waypoint, and it vanishes. And that's it. That's all there is to it. This is a really, really nice quality of life mod, and I can't believe more people aren't using it. And last but not least, we have one that's just for funsies. It's just kind of hilarious, so I wanted to throw it in there. And that is the disguise self as origin characters and companions. And it's pretty self-explanatory what this one does as well. It just allows you to disguise self and look like anybody that is in the game that is in your party. So you want your whole entire party to be nothing but Karlax, you can totally do that. Or Astarion, or whatever you want to do. It's just a nice nice little fun cosmetic mod. It has no real bearing on anything. It works just like any other disguise self option, except you just look like the origin character of your choice. And it has a pretty decent selection, everyone from Minthara to Lae'zel to Alfira. So if you just want to have fun when you're using disguise self and look like somebody else in your party, then this is a solid option. So console players, I just want to let you know that some of these aren't on consoles yet, but they're waiting for approval. Pretty much all the devs who have posted their mod to the mod workshop have submitted for approval for consoles, but it looks like that's a pretty slow process. So if you're watching this in the future, the mods are probably there. If you're watching it not in the future, you may have to wait a little bit before some of these mods show up, but they should eventually hit consoles as well. All right, and that is pretty much it for this one. Let me know what y'all think about these mods down there in the description. You excited? Did you already know about them? Are you going to check them out? I enjoy hearing what you all think. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified when I upload other videos. And if you're looking for some more of my content, you can find a link to another one of my videos on the screen right now. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to all of my channel supporters for helping to keep these videos sponsor free. You all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to become an official channel supporter, check out the links in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.